welcome back to another video with Glameres Gems. My name is Ebony, and in today's video I have none other than a boss babe video for you gems. So in this video I want to go over questions to ask your hair vendor or just your vendor in general when you are in the initial phases of starting your business. So as the boss babes that we are killing it, y'all, okay? We have started businesses over the past 18 months and we are really about our coin, about our bag, okay? So we need to make sure that we're doing things professionally, asking the right questions. That way we're not getting screwed over because, hey, you know, things happen when you're in business. But also making sure that we are educated on what it is that we're getting into, so that way we can provide an exceptional experience to the clients and customers that we serve. Now for my customers, they won't be called customers, they're called gems, period. We are gems over here, okay? A diamond in the rough, whatever you want to call it. So I am providing an exceptional client experience to all of my gems that purchase and shop with me. So it is important for me to make sure that they are getting quality products, y'all, period, because I'm the face of my brand, number one, and I want to make sure that if I was to shop somewhere else, that I would be given the same amount of exceptional service. So I'm going to provide that to my gems. So in order to do that, I gotta know what I'm talking about, okay? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that way you never miss out on any boss babe videos, fashion videos, beauty, the whole works. I do all of that. And of course, if you are a returning gem, welcome back, sis. Let's get into this video, okay? First things first, whenever you're scouting for a vendor, you want to have at least 5 to 10 that you're kind of scouting through, and then from those 5 to 10 you want to narrow it down to at least 3 or 4, because you're going to have to sample with them and test out the product to make sure that it's quality, it meets your standards, and that way you know that it will be good to sell to your client. Because if it doesn't meet your standards or it's not up to par, then you need to X out that vendor and try the next one. So the first thing you want to know is how long have they been in business, because a lot of the times when they are new in business, they may overcharge you because they're trying to get their business established. Number two, you don't want to get scammed, okay? You want to make sure that you are with a company that is reputable. They've been around for a couple years. 4 to 5 years is pretty good and established. Of course, if you find someone that's been in business for 10 years, then you know they're well established and they can fulfill your needs. You know, you want someone that's already established when you're just getting started, because if I'm new, they're new, and then you know, it's just doing too much. So anyway, 4 to 5 years definitely or more is what you want to do, is who you want to do business with, okay? Now the second thing you want to know is, where are they located? Location is very, very important, because most of these vendors are going to be overseas in India, China, wherever. You may even find some US vendors, okay? And generally with a US vendor, the price point may be slightly higher because it's already here and, you know, everybody's trying to make their coin and all of that. But generally, a lot of the vendors that you purchase from will be overseas. So you want to know where they're located, okay? Because you want to kind of get a feel for where your hair is coming from and all of that. And then once you find out where they're located, the next thing you want to know is, could I visit you at your location? Because a lot of the times, you know, it's kind of a toss-up when you're dealing with an overseas vendor. They don't know you and they really just want your money at the end of the day. I mean, it's business, you know, they're not trying to be your friend and all of that. You may build great rapport with some of your vendors, which is always a beautiful thing in business, but at the end of the day, it's business, okay? So you need to know where they're located. Could you come and visit them if you needed to, just to kind of get an idea from where the warehouse is. Like, you shop at Walmart, we know Walmart, mainly their products come from the distribution center. So we kind of want to get a tracking of where everything is originating from, because if there's any discrepancies, any issues, you are going to be held accountable, because this is your business. So you need to know where your vendor is located, and also can you visit them to see exactly how they house their products, what condition they're in, and all of that. It's very important, okay? Because some vendors have hair all over the floor, they got different bugs and different, it's just a whole nother side to it, okay? So you just want to make sure that you know where they're located, and you want to also know, can I come and visit y'all if I need to see what's up, or if I want to do a bulk order or do more business with you all. Very, very, very important. Okay, so to follow up on that, you also want to find out, do you have pics of your factory? You know, can I see videos of the products? Because they may use, some vendors have used like pictures that don't belong to them, and they'll say, well, this is a picture of our hair. You go ahead and place your order, and the hair you get is completely different from what they've shown you. So a lot of the times it's going to give you a little bit more peace of mind when you can see their pictures but also see a video with that, just to kind of really get a feel for it. Ultimately, taking a trip and kind of building that rapport with the vendor directly is going to be in your best interest over time. But of course, when you're just getting started out, you may not have the finances to do that and such. Plus, we're in the middle of this pandemic, so you know, it's just been a little crazy. But if you can get a picture or video with them, perfect. So that way you kind of have an idea of how it looks. And there are certain things that you want to look for when you're getting hair. And I may do another video on how to test your hair and different things like that. But you want to kind of be more up close and personal as much as you can be. So definitely ask if you can, if they offer pictures and video, to make sure that the pictures match the video shown. Once you get everything established, you want to go ahead and find out how's best to communicate with them. Generally, a lot of your vendors will communicate with you via WhatsApp. I have personally been using WhatsApp for over 12 years, so WhatsApp is great. I'm from Bermuda, and that's basically how I communicate with my family overseas, and it's free. It doesn't cost me a thing. So I definitely love WhatsApp, and a lot of these vendors are also using it as well. You can do video chat on WhatsApp, you can text, you can do voice notes. So it's really great way to communicate with your vendor and just see, you know, the pictures of their warehouse and everything like that. The next question you want to find out is, are you a factory or are you a distribution center? The reason why that is very important, and this will also play a huge role in how long they've been in business, because if they've just been in business, they may just be a factory kind of working on every time we get you know, an order from the business, we'll buy from our vendor. You know, it's kind of like AliExpress. So AliExpress to me would be the factory, and Alibaba would be the distributor, because we know that everything is coming directly from Alibaba. So it's kind of the same thing with your vendor. You'd much rather do business with the distributor versus the factory. Number one, the distributor is going to be much more cost effective for you than the factory. But in addition to that, supply and demand is going to always be there for you when you have large sales. If they are a distribution center, you're in a much better position to really just have a peace of mind of knowing, hey, if I have 1 month that's just really, really booming, I'm going to be able to fulfill all my clients' orders and everyone's going to be happy. So definitely keep that in mind. Now that we've figured out how long they've been in business, could we visit? Do they offer pictures and videos? And are they a factory or distribution center? Now that we've figured out that piece of it, now we need to get into the bread and butter of this, okay? Do they accept sample orders? Okay, sample orders are extremely important. You never want to go in a situation blind, especially when you're spending your money. I am literally funding my business with my own money. Now, I am aware of business grants and I am aware of business loans, business credit. So I have a lot of things in place, and I'm working towards certain things that I won't really get into in this video, but I am doing majority of the funding on my own, okay? So to say that, you know, I don't have the money to just go ahead and take $1,000 and just throw it out on a whim. Every expense that I have has to be calculated, and I have to be very diligent in how I spend my money. So when it comes to sample orders, you need to find out, do they offer sample, or do they have sample orders? Because you want to test your product prior to making your first order, because in testing it, you know, you need to get a feel for it. You want to, you know, test the hair, the ends. You want to look for any synthetic fibers. You want to make sure there's no bugs or any gnats or anything in the hair. You want to make sure it doesn't have any foul smell or anything like that. So many different things that we need to test out prior to even considering selling the hair, okay? Like, you want to be an expert in what you're selling, okay? So with that being said, a lot of these companies, in my personal experience, are pretty hefty when it comes to these sample orders, okay? They're gonna charge you between $60 to $80 for a sample order, and that may be just 2 bundles, but it's including the shipping. Now generally the shipping is anywhere between $22 to $35, but anything that's $30 or more for shipping costs when purchasing a sample, in my opinion, is too high, okay? So you want to find a happy medium between $22 to $25 for shipping, because we understand it's coming from international shipping, so we get all of that. But you want to also ask the question, okay, after you figure out about sample orders, can shipping be waived? And sometimes they may say yes, sometimes they may say no. What I've been told is that, you know, once I make larger orders, then yes, my shipping can potentially be waived with the more orders that I make. But for sample orders, I've had to pay the shipping. So with the bundles that I ordered plus you know, the shipping, I paid like $62 for one sample, and then I did that like 5 other times. So I spent a little bit of money testing out different vendors, but you know, you have to invest in your company. So either way, you want to figure that part out. So when sampling the hair, you really don't need like a 16, an 18, and a 20 inch to sample. You don't need to sample 3 bundles. I would recommend sampling just 2 to get like a 16-inch body wave and a 16-inch straight. And that's going to give you time to test your hair out and do everything you need to do to make sure that it meets your standards for your brand and for your company, okay? So in doing that, and then also you may want to sample like a frontal or a closure or a wig, whatever you're selling for your business. So you just kind of make that executive decision. I can't make it for you, but either way, you want to sample at least one of everything that you're trying to sell. So it can be a little pricey. So you just have to gauge what's going to work for you. The next question you want to ask is, do they have a minimum order quantity? So you may see MOQ frequently throughout, you know, Alibaba website, or you may even see it on their website, because they may require you to purchase 5 bundles before you can even really test it out or even purchase their products. So if they don't, you're golden. If they do, try to negotiate and see how you can work around that, because again, we're just getting started out. We may not want to test out 5 products right now when we're doing business. We may just need the 1. So definitely talk to them about that. Be very upfront with what you're doing and how you need things to get done, just to see if they can waive that for you or they can work around it. So the next thing you want to figure out is, how do they accept payment? Now, do they have PayPal? Do they make you use your credit card, your debit card? What is it kind of payment that they accept? When you're doing business internationally, I would recommend PayPal. That is my preferred method of payment and the preferred for many other business owners. So if they don't have PayPal, it's kind of a red flag, because PayPal is a guaranteed way to protect your funds in the event that you get scammed, but it's also a great way for them to send you an invoice, which can be a business transaction for you. So if you already have your PayPal account set up and they send you an invoice for the sample, you're already having a transaction for that, because we need to track all of our expenses, so that way when Uncle Sam comes knocking on our door at the end of the year, we can take an account for all of the expenses that we've done on behalf of our business. So you definitely want to make sure they have PayPal. If they don't, I wouldn't recommend doing business with them. I would go to the next vendor. But once they have the PayPal, very important, ask them to send you an invoice, and then once they've sent you the invoice, you pay the invoice through your PayPal account, and then you just wait for your item to come in the mail. So definitely find that out. But again, whatever you're comfortable with, you can do that. That's just what I recommend, to use PayPal so they can send you that invoice, and you can track it as a business transaction, but you can also protect your funds in the event of being scammed and get your money back. So drop shipping is something that is getting very popular. So you definitely want to find out, do they offer drop shipping? In the event you don't know what drop shipping is, it's basically when they are supplying on demand for you, okay? So if you get an order that comes in, you want to, you know, you may not have the inventory on hand, they can actually go ahead and send your order directly to your customer, and you know, it's coming directly from the factory directly to your customer. You don't really have to house the inventory, but your customer is still going to get, you know, your products sent to them without you having to house the inventory. Generally with drop shipping, it's going to give you a discount with that company most cases. So you'll get a discount with them for that. that, but you don't have to worry about spending a whole lot of money to house the inventory that you may or may not have fresh out. The pro to it is that, you know, most times, you know, you can ask, can they put your label, can they put your logo, can they do custom packaging for you? So most times they can do that for you. Once you send the logo, they can do your custom packaging. So you definitely want to ask, do they offer custom packaging? But that's neither here nor there. With the drop shipping, it's just a great way for you to really not overspend in the beginning stages, because you know that once you receive the money from your customer, you can place the order with them and they can ship directly to your customer. The pro with it is that you're not having to house the inventory. The con is that you're not really having full control over, you know, how the items look once the client receives them. So you just have to gauge what works best for you. I'm not going to tell you what and what not to do, but drop shipping is definitely something to consider if you don't want to house the inventory, or if you don't have the funds right up front to house your inventory. Ask them, do they have drop shipping? Now, whether you're doing the drop shipping method or not, you can still ask, do they offer custom packaging? And that's when they put like your logo on the satin bags, on the packaging. Whether you have lashes, hair, different products that you're selling, they can take your logo and put it on the packaging for you. That way it looks really nice and professional. They can put it on your lip gloss tubes, whatever kind of company you're starting. It's a great way. And most times, you know, you can pay for custom packaging yourself. You can even design your own logo yourself. But if you have your factory or your distribution center doing it for you, most times the cost of it may be free, because you're already paying them so much money for the main product, and they have basically a team of people that's going to be doing this for you. So it's going to be a headache off of your shoulders and one less thing to worry about. Now, in the event you go with a pre-sale method, where the pre-sale method is once you receive the money, you go ahead and place your order and then they send it directly to your home. Now, if you're doing the pre-sale method, a very important question to ask is, do they offer overnight shipping? Generally, you're not going to get overnight shipping. However, you may get your package in 2 days versus having to wait 7 to 10, which can be great because you don't want it to impact your client at all, because you have to think about it. If you're waiting 7 to 10 days for your vendor to send you the package, well, your client's already placed their order, and then it's going to take you another 2 to 5 days to get it to your client. So if they're waiting almost 21 days for hair bundles, they're going to give their business to another company that can get them their hair pretty faster. So you have to consider all of that. But in the event you're doing the pre-sale method, you definitely want to figure out, do they offer overnight shipping, and what's the fastest you'll get your product? And that way you're able to kind of have a clear idea of when your client is going to receive their hair. So yeah, these are just some of the questions that I feel are very important to ask your vendor when you are starting a hair business, a lash business, a lip gloss company. Whichever company you are starting, you're going to have a vendor, and these questions apply to all of them, in my opinion. So I hope that you gems enjoyed the video. If you have any additional questions for me, make sure to leave plenty of comments down below. That way I can just reach out to you directly and answer the questions, or if I don't have the answer, I'll let you know that as well. But I hope that you gems did enjoy the video. Make sure you give me a big thumbs up, and until next time, I will see you gems in the next video.